do that?
No, my chat was, why is this even a discussion? Why does it matter?
Because there's a large population that's obese.
And what does that matter? Is that a problem?
It's a disease. It's just like saying that a lot of people hurt you. So if being called fat hurts you, it's how you take it in, right? Because it's not like it's an objective lie. It's just what it is. People call me short. I open up like, fuck you, man, I'm tall. Like,
Oh gosh.
right? I am beautiful in my head. I'm just like, yeah, I'm short, so what?
Hey.
I think we all have like a capacity for empathy, you know? Let's bring this back.
We're having a discussion, and I don't want things to get lost in euphemisms or lost in trying to save someone's feelings. Right?
Euphemisms.
Yeah, because
Me personally, I don't know if I'm ready to die. I don't know if that makes sense.
you should always be ready to die.
I'm always ready. I know that sounds crazy, and I know a lot of people will come and say whatever, but it's funny enough because when we go to get, like the church organization that we belong to, I think one of the first things that we kind of taught at some level when you whatever is, how can you die? How can you be prepared to die?
In catechism and stuff.
Yeah. So
Yo, what's Gucci? Welcome back to episode 2 of Chilling with the Boys.
already episode 2, amazing.
Oh yeah.
We're in the same clothes.
Yeah, because like we established that we need a uniform.
Yeah.
So before we set up, we took a picture and we're like, in 7 days we have to do this again. So we have to set it up exactly.
I mean,
as it
whose
were.
hair grows anyway?
Exactly, like who does that? You trim it until I'm like, you already had a fresh cut,
You
so
know?
you could escape.
This is
And
how
actually, this
broke
has happened-
people justify their brokenness. But anyway, continue.
What do you mean just right there, bro?
Oh, I get you, but then no.
You are what you think you are.
As a man,
You become what you think.
You sound like those "what is a woman" statements.
Hmm.
I feel like I am.
Anyway.
Anyway, episode 2. We've got 2 topics. So we're going to gaga. We're gonna gaga
You're
there.
gonna do both? Which ones and which ones?
Fat acceptance.
Let's start with that one, because that one is heavy.
Yeah, no, the other one's heavy because we're gonna. Yeah.
No, that was that.
Do you know what's
no pun
scaring
intended.
me?
No pun
Do
intended.
you know what's scaring me? Do you know what's
What?
scaring me?
What?
The way he's so excited, like, his face got so lit. Why?
Off camera, but off camera we're talking about this basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
had a
were.
chat about it.
And,
We had a chat about it.
Aish, let's just continue from what you were saying. You say that there are people that say fat
Being fat
acceptance,
is healthy,
like,
is beautiful, and you shouldn't change.
and you are saying, do people actually do that?
No, my chat was, why is this even a discussion? Why does it matter?
Because there's a large population that's obese.
And what does that matter? Is that a problem?
It's a disease. It's
I
just
hear
like
you.
saying that a lot of people have flu, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess.
I hear you. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, since a lot of people are obese, they strain facilities and stuff. Like, for example,
Oh
healthcare.
wow! So there's training
Healthcare.
facilities.
Healthcare.
Like, we have to talk about this because you guys are just training the facilities. We built a bed for you, and now look.
It's just like COVID. It's just like how COVID-19 was such a strain to the healthcare
Turn me
system,
down,
right?
maybe.
Yeah, let me turn
Yeah.
out your focus.
Because I'm sure my gain is crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway,
I
yeah.
don't
Guys,
think it's my gain. I think
redlining.
it's just how I think
Oh,
it's the way
yeah.
I shout.
Shout out to Jawi's brother. Yeah.
So,
He's a feminist.
He's another feminist.
He's a feminist.
Turns out I'm also a feminist.
Oh yeah,
Turns
he's
out.
also.
I had no idea.
I mean, like, if they call me a misogynist, then he has to be a feminist, right?
I wonder who they is, but it's okay too.
They people watching.
The pronouns.
But anyway, what I was saying is that, like, if you're obese, right, you strain this healthcare system because they're trying to, you easily get sick. Like, simple diseases can cause heart attacks and stuff. Now, even for your life, you won't live as long. So we're just
so
trying
worried
to
about
help.
people's health.
Yes,
in
essentially.
their lives.
It's just the same reason why people then do like measles shots and all those things. If people didn't care,
Okay.
just be like, you know what,
So let's say
whoever survives.
we're talking about this with the same perspective that we would have if we were talking about, let's say, TB, right? So
Yeah.
we're worried about the rise in what TB cases, whatever.
Yeah.
Or cholera in Zimbabwe, as we heard recently.
Yes.
Yes.
Great, great.
Because even
So anyone should approach this conversation with that same
The main reason why is because it's now affecting the younger generations.
Wait, before we get deep into it, how did this come about? How did this start? The whole fat acceptance, because it seems like it became a thing where, okay, this is my understanding from the whole fat acceptance shenanigans, from what I was explained to by a woman.
Okay.
The way this guy, why?
Because no guy will ever be like a fat acceptance. Yay, no guy will. If you do that and you're a guy,
Oh Lord.
And yes.
Okay, we'll let him reserve his comments, but Hansi, it's just a way to say, as a person, that's what they say, as a person, be comfortable with whatever body size you have and not feel insecure.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
That's the goal. Should I
agree
say
with that?
Hello, how are you?
That's his girlfriend.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Shout out.
So your brother is a feminist and
Bunch of lesbians.
that was so uncalled for. But yeah,
I'm joking. I just had to. I'm sorry. I just had to.
anyway, so Hansi, it was just as a way to feel comfortable in your body, and
I agree with that.
then I've seen videos now where you see like a big chick, like she big, and she's like, I'm healthy at any size. I don't know why people say that. I'm not healthy. And that's where, for me, maybe that's where we then are crossing line.
But before we get to the healthy part, like, you can be secure with your body
Yes.
and you can be confident, but it doesn't mean you have to stop there. If you catch my drift, that as you are, you can always improve on yourself to be healthier and to just be better in anything that you're doing. If you're studying or something, you should always just strive to just go a bit further, see how far you can get to get the best results out of yourself. I'm not saying that if you are a fat person, you should feel shame, right? But you can love yourself, but then you should be able to idealize yourself being better. So now imagine how much more you'll be able to do if you're healthy. Because the thing is, with fatness, you're adding mass to your body that is naturally not supposed to be there. So you're straining your body itself. Your knees are dying. Like all the joints are just overwhelmed. So you can't do things the same way you'd be able to do it if you were actually just, built the way you were supposed to be naturally. So you can be confident in everything, but try to see how much better your life could be if you just keep on pushing forward and pushing forward.
But is that really what? Because is that really what people care about when this whole fat acceptance? When people are talking about the whole fat acceptance as a whole, like, because this is where I think he was coming from, in the sense of, do people really care about people's health, or it just goes back to the gender wars?
It's not gender wars. It's about how people are distorting what beauty is, and they're distorting what health is, just to feel right. It's like you say this, I call you fat, oh, you hurt my feelings, and then now I have to start correcting myself and such, just because I hurt your feelings, although I am speaking things that aren't true. I'll be saying you're healthy when you can't be healthy, because if you actually look at the biology of being fat, right, your arteries,
That word, dude.
like, to me, like, look,
and
words-
people
words
don't
only
like use that word.
words only hurt you as much as you allow them to hurt you, right? Yeah, words only hurt you as much as you allow them to hurt you. So if being called fat hurts you, it's how you take it in, right? Because it's not like it's an objective lie. It's just what it is. People call me short. I would be like, fuck you, man, I'm tall. Like,
Oh
right?
gosh.
I am beautiful in my head. I'm just like, yeah, I'm short, so what?
Hey.
I think we all have like a capacity for empathy, Let's bring this back.
We're having a discussion, and I don't want things to get lost in euphemisms or lost in trying to save someone's feelings. Right?
Euphemisms.
Yeah, because like when we start hedging out and beating about the bush, like we start losing the essence of what we're trying to talk about, right? Because fat and obesity, these are like obesity is something that's straight. It's a medical term that is right there to be like, okay, if you're obese, it means like you have many health risks, right? So you can't then come out and say you're fat and then you're like, I'm healthy. It's not the same.
What are we trying to communicate to everyone?
We're trying to communicate to people that
Exactly. Yeah.
okay, number one, just because you say it doesn't make it true. And so we're just trying to stop people from leading with emotions or how they feel, that they start redefining what
But
things should
how
be.
do you control that though?
You can't really control it. The best you can do is just make people aware that, okay, they can say this, but it's not true. And then it's now up to other people. It's taking the donkey to the river.
Funny enough, I think I want to say it like this. I think the less problems that you have in life, most likely the happier you're gonna be, And let's I know the one that we can all agree is money removes all money problems, and you're closer to happiness. And I think you'd probably be way happier if you don't have health problems.
That is
So
true.
let's not have.
And the health problems lead to more money problems.
For sure. And I think health leads to every other kind of problem.
Yeah.
I think, that's a very good point. We really underestimate the importance of health system and the importance of our health when we're feeling good. A simple example. Remember how when you have flu and your nose is blocked, and you're like, God damn, remember those times when I could just breathe?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a real thing.
Exactly.
Like you're
When
just
it's
there,
like, I remember when
daydreaming
I
about the
could
good
breathe.
days. You're swinging your feet at
Exactly. That's exactly how it is now with the health system. When you're telling yourself that, maybe you start getting bigger, or you've always been big, right?
How about we talk about it I'm sure being overweight or obese is mostly spoken about in a metric way, where we talk about things that we can measure. I know size is one of them, but I remember a visit to a doctor for some particular reason, they just said we don't use subjective what are the opinions or whatever, or judgments, subjective judgments. We use what's objective. So get on the scale and we'll be able to talk
BMI
about
stuff,
BMI,
weight
body,
and height,
exactly,
and
that
how
stuff like that. Let's talk about it in that context, so that
Like
it moves away from
what's a weight that's too much?
it moves away from the whole aesthetic point of view of saying you're looking bigger, because some people have the capacity of being bigger than other people because of body mass, whatever,
and densities
how
and stuff like that.
yeah, biology people can speak to that. But I'm saying as you speak as well, if you talk about size, which I think now when you push it when you now talk about ladies who get to hear more about that, and everyone else is conscious about their size, besides how healthy they are, even if they are within their acceptable health boundaries and perimeters, people just talk about you're getting bigger, or even getting what's it called, skinnier. And that's like a real thing, and I know people that struggle with it.
They exist, but no one really talks about them.
Especially the people that are small. I think they probably have it harder because
no one actually,
I don't know, maybe I might be wrong,
But you actually know that there is no movement that encourages like bulimia and all that stuff. People who are more concerned, they're like, no, you shouldn't be like anorexia. It's actually treated as it should be. That do not fantasize about becoming anorexic or anything like that. They actually treat it as a problem.
Crazy. It's hard because I think, imagine just this thing of you trying to eat as much as you can. I think that's a different problem where you can't speak to anyone about that. I'm sure you can speak to people, but I'm just saying
it's not
your community is way smaller. Now you're like, I've been eating everything I can.
And they're like, yes,
don't laugh.
Let's do it.
I'm eating everything I can. I eat before I sleep. So that
I eat while I sleep.
They said I eat while I sleep.
While I sleep is like, the hand is just there.
Oh gosh.
Half-eaten cookies just there. These are completely different communities. But the thing is that these are different communities that are supposed to be treated the same way.
For sure.
Because these are problems relating to health,
Funny enough,
image.
people that have that condition, that are anorexic, they actually are conscious of their challenge, of the challenges that they're facing. And I think, as far as I can tell, they work actively towards it. And no one usually speaks on, now we coming to image and coming to social media, no one speaks of that condition as anything that's okay.
Problem.
Because it worries people naturally when you see that. You're like, are you okay? But I think the opposite is not true for the other class, because I think it's a more common problem, and I think
Yeah, so
it's a common problem, and it's something that we just have had to find a way around, and now we've just decided to say perhaps it's not all that bad, or it's not as bad as anorexia. Yeah.
anorexia.
But you know, when fat acceptance is, it's a woman's thing. I'm just gonna say it like it is. There's no fat acceptance for men.
It's like
I know personally because I've gone through the stages of grief for
Oh my
the
goodness.
fat, whatever. In fact, no, you know, let me go on a rant now. But there's none of
Well,
that.
I wasn't ready for that.
I had to let it out.
let it out, man. Come on. Just chilling with the boys. If you can't let it out here, when are you
Nah,
gonna
but
let it out,
there's no fat acceptance for men, and I don't blame it. I think it's fine because I think to a certain level as men, I do think we need some form of pressure to
As
perform
everyone does.
at a higher level
But
because when you're in a comfort zone, my one.
But question, knows that you know that there is we might say there's no fit acceptance for guys,
Mhm.
but I think what's really not there in terms of acceptance is the opposite, like the whatever. I think anorexia in men is probably quite difficult. I think bigger men are. I'm not talking like obese. I'm talking just
Bigger
as a
men,
fat.
yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, fat within the parameters of fat before being obese. I think that's acceptable. I think we can just be like, okay, he's a big man.
It's
you know,
just it's
and
like,
he-
yeah.
But I think for women that can't fly. But something that definitely doesn't fly for men, being
Skinny.
very skinny guy. I think
Yeah.
everywhere you go, probably people don't even have the capacity to be empathetic or to I think we all have a capacity for that.
Shout out to my boy Tabs. I know he's watching this.
But you know,
what is he
like-
going through?
Oh, he's skinny.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think, because I've seen a lot of skinny guys, right? And I was just like, oh, okay. Then I
I
just
mean, like really skinny.
but then that's the thing. Like, how often do you actually come across someone like that?
And
There's a certain amount
Exactly,
of skinniness
that's what
I'm
I'm
thinking
saying.
about, like where it's just literally like bone, like some, because guys naturally just have some sort of muscle that comes through, right?
And I think when you see the absence of that muscle, you get alarmed. You're like, yo,
Like, whoa.
what's going on? And
Is
I
he-
haven't
is
seen
he
any
a
of it. I can't
man?
say I have, but I think
Exactly,
there's no
that's what I'm
acceptance
saying.
for
Like,
it.
I don't know. It's just like, because I have some skinny friends. It's just like, dude, hit the gym.
I mean, like skinny.
That's what I'm saying. How often do you come across that?
I was actually no one in mind.
I don't actually think that a lot of,
Do you know
like,
anyone?
there are some people who might go through who are men.
Do
but
we know?
We know the same people.
Yes, yeah,
Do you
but
know
I
anyone?
can't think
Who
of
do you know?
anyone.
Yeah, I don't want to put people on the spot.
Of course, you're gonna mute. You're gonna censor it. You say a name. You're like,
No.
oh,
No, 'cause,
yeah,
like, the skinny
yeah.
because you know how like sometimes, because when you look at an anorexic girl, because usually that's, if you search anorexia, it's usually like a girl who pops up, right? It's literally, it's just skin and bone. How often do you see it? Like anyway, even like guys who are starving, maybe Somalians, but like
that was a violation, but
what?
Clearly, we're not international, yes.
Like think of the days when Somalia actually was in the pits, like the real pits, right?
I think that's a historical event, so I don't think anyone can argue.
That's what I mean. Like for guys, it's hardly because of psychology or anything that they end up being. It's because maybe they're just struggling.
You know,
essentially.
it being a psychological thing is all about image coming back to the women.
yeah,
You know, and I think that's what makes it even something to talk about. And I think that's why fat acceptance, that's what you call the term, right? I think it's a thing because their aesthetical representation of themselves is such a big issue because of the image that it communicates.
and to them it's a big
And now, before you even do anything, whilst you're okay, you're conscious of it. As you're getting worse, you're even more conscious, and it's just you go down like this, I don't know, slippery slope. I think women, before you are either in a bad or good position with your weight, I think you're always thinking about it, and I think that's how it can now become something that is determined by your psychology. Like that's how you can be depressed about it. That's how you can either like stop eating and become, I don't know, unhealthy in whatever way, anorexia or whatever. I don't know how that works, or be obese because you just can't stop eating, and you just keep on worsening your problem by going, because it's always has been a psychological thing, I'd like to think.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a psychological thing, and I always say the reason why for gents maybe it might not be hit hard like this whole fat acceptance thing, like a guy who's fat, like there's not as many emotions on.
I think it's always been an objective thing for guys.
Yeah.
You're fat,
Whereas
you're
with
weight,
guys, I think an emotional topic would be you're broke. Oh, namari.
I don't think not having money in itself is emotional. I think not being able to make it was something else.
Yeah,
but just
but-
not
but-
I cannot see it as a matter of fact.
But
you know?
I'm saying, Guti, that's probably more aligned with
For
what
sure.
guys would react to.
Yeah, I agree.
In quotes, like guys, guy, you know what it is. Lord, give us money. Thina was actually in podcast. Guys, one out yeah, somebody mic young. Wait, let me not. I'll speak in English for the
Can
South
someone
Africans.
else speak right now?
It's getting depressing real quick. Like, how did you get there? How
Guys,
so-
started a GoFundMe.
It's getting a bit too
Please.
particular, eh?
It's getting
But
too
nah,
heavy, man. Like, we're at the beginning of life.
But yeah, this fat acceptance thing, nah, man. It's definitely geared towards women.
I'm sorry. Come to think of other podcasts that I've seen, I actually have a hard time watching podcast videos, or like just basically watching full on. And other ones that I've seen now, say from other countries, the UK, say everywhere else. Guys who are at this age, seeing that you're talking about money, who are probably might fit our profile in everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the setup would be like this. You know, I think the general age the average age between the three of us, amongst the three of us, is like 25.
Mhm.
I think they'll be more established in what's going on, and they have more to show for themselves.
Yeah,
And I think that's how it becomes like more so like a psychological thing, as you were talking about. Is you're not getting into your this mic, your this entire setup. Now, if you were to take another podcast from a more developed country, those guys, as they speak, even their lives was just going, and they just have what they need by virtue of them being where they are.
They'll be saying, you're only making $3,000 a month.
You know,
I'm like, hey, dog, really?
Yeah, but anyway.
But
It
yeah,
was just a tangent.
yeah, it was a tangent. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, because the fat acceptance. Have you been satisfied?
Anyway, if
You need to talk about
Okay,
something.
yeah, okay.
nah, like I'm just gonna say, you can be proud and confident with how you look and how you are, but it's always good to try and get the best out of yourself. You know, if you know, don't give yourself excuses to not do things, because the psychology of I can't do this is you always find a reason to do it. Just do it. Just try. Eat less, walk more, exercise more. Just try something different from how you are. You know, the more you give yourself excuses, the more you're just gonna keep on going down the hill. And there are proven studies that, you know, weight gain and obesity and stuff like that leads to depression and other health risks. So it's not like we're trying to, you know, 80.5 to 24.5 is good BMI. So yeah, go to your doctor, check your height and your weight, and find out your BMI.
Madness.
But then, yeah, there's also the argument that, we'll talk about it another time, but there's the argument that the BMI system doesn't work for African people anymore because we're physiologically different.
Science is always an
From-
argument about something.
Yeah, there's always, because you find how, like, most African women have a large base these days, like wide hips and thighs and all that
they're not
stuff.
comprehensive.
So that adds to their weight and all that stuff. But then they're saying, I'm still healthy even though I have a lot of fat in my body,
And that
Right.
ass.
essentially. So, you know, we won't get into the medical aspects of it, but you
I
can't
really
completely
couldn't even
dismiss.
if we could.
No, all I'm saying is you shouldn't completely dismiss the BMI system just because you are of a different ethnicity and all that stuff. This stuff comes from some deep research that we are not wary of, and you're also probably not wary of, depending with what you study and stuff. But
Yeah.
you can't dismiss it for the very basic fact that it's like, they did it on white people, they did it on these people, so therefore for me I'm clean. You get it? So just try to be better. if you're fat.
That's a good way to end it. Anyway, on to the next one. Death. This one's deep. We're recording this on the 10th. 22nd of October, 2023.
The disappointment is beyond
The
me.
past week, if you're in Zimbabwe, it's been from a social media standpoint, it's been quite a tense one. There's a kid that died through an accident from Saints. You know, then of course the famous Gerima Panzuri, he also died. R.I.P. to him.
Along, was it the daughter or son, like the kid and
Cousin?
also another person? I don't
I
know.
thought I heard
It was like a 3-month-old.
3 month. Oh,
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
I heard something.
Then there was
like
another
cousin.
20-something guy.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, because there were 3 in the vehicle.
But yeah, it was also sad. And you know, you see, usually in times like this, when celebrities or things like this happen, people start posting, people start saying, "Why didn't we talk? Why didn't I check up? Why didn't I?" You know, and it got me thinking, bro. Like, for me personally, I don't know if I'm ready to die. I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
You should always be ready to die.
I'm always ready. I
Like-
know that sounds crazy, and I know a lot of people will come and say whatever, but it's funny enough because when we go to get, like the church organization that we belong to,
Mhm.
I think one of the first things that we kind of taught at some level when you whatever is how can you die? How can you be prepared to die? I'm not
Oh,
sure
in
if you remember.
catechism and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So
We're not Catholic, by the way.
I really appreciate that question personally on a faith level because it helped me like to have this solace about the about how the fickleness of life, I suppose.
and life is so like you could die tomorrow.
Or today.
But today.
Oh, right now.
But my chat is. Eish,
you guys.
To be mad still. To be mad. Nah, I'm gonna lie.
my chat is, at least from a personal standpoint, in my mind, I'm like, have I done enough to say, you know what, if I die, I'm cool? You know? And of course, you guys have said that you're ready to die anytime, which in my mind seems like you've lived your life in a fulfillful way.
I don't think you can even do as much as you could ever do. You know, like it's impossible to do as much as you actually could do if you were to do it. You know, like you're gonna continuously say you're working at your optimum right now. You are producing value in the world and whatever. While you're doing it, there's always the next thing to be done. You know, and then let's say you are 30, you do that. You're 40, 50, you always have something else to do. Like there's never this time when there's nothing to do. I think the only time when you now have less to do is because you actually cannot do much. Now you're aged, now your body aches, now you're just incapable, and I think that's when you can only stop because hey, like
You physically can't.
you actually cannot, but you should if you could.
Well, the death thing is like, you should welcome death, but you shouldn't invite death. So at least how I live my life is, death will come for all of us. So if I die, it shouldn't be by my own cause. Like I shouldn't put myself in a situation
Don't
where
commit suicide.
I should, like don't commit
Apparently
suicide or
it's
put
don't
yourself
die
in
by
tricky
suicide.
situations where if
Continue.
I pass on, they'll be like, but why did you do this type of thing? Like, why was he traveling at 180 kilometers an hour?
I think
That type of stuff.
in as much as I think I'm trying and I might not have as much as I try to live life without regrets and be as prepared as I can to pass, I don't do stupid things as much as I can, as you're saying. And I know we talk about cars is like the easiest one because I think we really can get stupid in cars whenever we're driving, going over the speed limit times 5.
But no, guys, let's just, because I
talking
wanted
about
to go
death.
back to death.
What about it are you really, really thinking deep down?
Deep down, that's what I,
Deep, yeah?
right, it's deep, man. Like I was thinking, guys, have I done enough?
What do you want to do? Dear
Like
Tokyo?
enough is related.
Enough as in terms of not just on a personal level,
Mm-hmm.
even from just maybe not you guys because I see you guys a lot, but Matt, shout out Matt Mfaro, what up, G?
Does he
Maybe
watch?
What's up?
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't. Like, shut up, Matt. Matt is nowhere to be found.
But you know what? Even
For
this
comment
clip,
section.
imagine then by the time he then sees it,
Oh, that's good.
and then then in his mind he's like, did I check up on the man? Did I talk to, you know what
I think I know it's dark, and I think I've had conversations where it gets dark, and someone might just jump in and diagnose something here. Excuse me, but I think with the challenges that we face, and in the previous episode, it seems we talked about men, women, and we talked about expectation and stuff like that. We touched lightly on it, but I think there's a lot of depression that comes to play. You know, we talked about the psychology of affording, you know, and I think a lot of gents go through. I lost train of thought. I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought. I really did. My bad.
It's because
He
it's so
derailed
deep.
himself.
It's so deep, man.
It's so deep.
I was tuned in.
Oh yeah. Thank Jesus, I got it.
Yeah.
I was talking
It's a
about
Sunday after all.
it is, ne? Yeah, I was talking about death wouldn't be that bad because you now take it's like a shortcut. You just
That's kind of suicidal.
I get it, and I say that's why I say someone's like doing
That's
that.
kind of suicidal.
Yeah, I'm saying death doesn't look that bad when you're not doing too good.
Yeah,
That's the chat. That's
Yeah.
usually the chat.
And
It's
and
like,
I know that sounds bad, whatever, but it's honestly I think it's the truth. Especially
It
if you
is,
don't know how to
but-
get out of the mist that you find yourself in.
that's where the whole
You know, people don't know how to
community
get
thing
out
has
of
to
the
come
messes that they
into
are.
place.
Yeah,
Which is
a
true.
lot of
which is
people
true.
don't.
And no, now maybe that's how we subconsciously start doing stupid things. I don't know if that's why I've
The
watched a
risky
video where
life.
someone's driving. It's like, like, why should I live? I gave her everything that I had, you know, and
I
now
still
she still
failed.
cheated on me. Niggas going.
Yeah,
over
don't
the
kill
limit.
yourself over another person. Like, nah.
That's crazy.
But I get it. Like
But,
some people
yeah.
have, because you invest so much into something, and then when it just goes away or just dissolves.
I don't.
like,
Is it not everyone?
life
Is
is
everyone always thinking about how? Does none of you guys ever ruminate on quitting? And I don't mean quitting on life because that's too deep and dark. I mean just quitting. You are trying so hard to do something. A small thing as like even just setting up your podcasting system, whatever, and it's just not working. And you're just like, you know what? Good riddance. I'm just gonna let this go. You know, and I'm just not gonna do it now. And you postpone it for later. And other things you can't postpone. You know, it's a life thing. You know, you need to get a job, and they're still not responding to those job applications. And you're just like,
oh, the job
ah.
thing. Yeah,
but then tomorrow, of course, you're gonna wake up, and hunger is gonna remind you that you kind of need to do that.
There's okay, you can talk, but then there's the philosophy of what's his name, the guy who had the boulder. You guys know of that story?
Mm-hmm.
He got the boulder and then he had to
Pushing
put
thing, yeah.
Cephasus, I think. I don't know.
Is it like Greek stuff?
Yeah, it's like Greek stuff. So essentially, let me just look up the name. But it's like he was cursed that he has pushed it up and the boulder was to just go down, but he kept doing it. So I think using that philosophy, I think that's essentially the point of living, you know, like take your burdens, even though sometimes they still come down and you might know that it might calm down, but I think that's the essence of living, the ability to just keep pushing, even though I know sometimes that it might be in vain.
I think
but
it's genuinely healthy, as far as I can tell, without any research elsewhere, to feel at times discouraged from carrying on with whatever that you're pursuing. I think failure is a real thing because it's inevitable if you
Cephas.
actually are chasing something.
Sisyphus. Sisyphus. No, it's
I'm
like
happy that I was.
Sisyphus.
Oh, okay.
Sisyphus.
Okay, so search that up, guys. The myth.
Yeah, the myth of Sisyphus.
The Sisyphus.
Actually, you're trying to get married as a woman and you just can't find a man.
Oh,
You're
he
like,
hates punishment
I'm
for
just gonna
cheating
live alone.
death. He hates punishment
I
for
think a
cheating
lot of
death
women go
twice
through that.
by
Yeah,
forcing him to
dilemma.
roll an intense boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down every time near the top, repeating the action for eternity. So he cheated death, and so it's like, you know, he just keeps on doing it. When it's right there, it all just comes crashing down. But he kept doing it. So
You know, you're trying to save up, right? Or like you're trying to start a venture. This is like your fifth business now, and you're like, you know, God or whoever you believe in, or you're talking to yourself, you pep talk. If this doesn't work,
I'm done.
I'm gonna let this go. And I think that's a real thing, and I think
it's
it's
a real thing.
genuinely.
It
I think
happens.
people are allowed to have episodes of that, but
I
it should
think
be
it's healthy to
very
have.
Minimal. So this basically what you're talking about is about people that die by suicide.
perhaps.
Like giving up and
Because
then
this is
leading
in
to their
line
death.
with the suicide.
And you should probably just, of course, if
And
you
men
had
go through
help
that a
and-
lot.
Yo,
A lot.
man.
Yo.
Yo.
And the scary thing is, right, men and women go through it,
Yeah.
but men are more successful at killing themselves.
Word.
Because-
I don't think women try as much though.
No, they
they
do. But then
That's
they
actually pointed
fail.
out. But
How?
then
Like they quit close to the end, but then men would be like,
Determination.
this is it.
There's one thing I
This
can
is
succeed
it.
at.
yeah, the last thing, you know.
It's like
so,
if the last thing I can do is to kill myself.
Someone's probably
It's
mad.
dark,
Like,
but
are you guys laughing about suicide?
we're not laughing about suicide, but it's just what it is.
but I think
and-
it's also because women love to talk. So usually, if you talk about it with them, like if they talk and be like, you know, I'm feeling like this,
Yeah.
then she'll be like, hey, but time. Let me not do it.
yeah, like,
Whereas the guy, like when a guy gets to that point, he's at that point.
Yeah.
there's
Like,
nothing.
there's
it's done.
just
He's
no
tried.
Yeah,
coming
you need
back.
He's tried
You need
everything and
help.
he's
Someone,
failed.
you see like a light at the end of some tunnel. It's probably like a good thing. You get yourself out of whatever rut you're in, and that inspiration that you have to take the shortcuts to cheat yourself and kill yourself will probably go away. But funny enough, how many, Theo?
How many minutes? 2.
I think about this. This is one thing when it comes to death, because I reflect on an artist that I think everyone generally likes, Ricky Rick,
Mhm.
and how painful it was for a lot of people because they like him. He seemed like such a good guy.
Yeah.
I think suicide is a real thing for men because you feel under the pressure so much, and it just doesn't go away. Like it really just doesn't go away. Like the pressure is just there, and you go to sleep, whatever, or if you drink, whatever you do to cope, you do it. But tomorrow you're sober, and it just hits you again. It's like, yeah, I'm here. I need you to solve me. If you don't solve me, I'm gonna be here tomorrow again. But I really hope that it's possible. I haven't tried this out, to take some time out, to get maybe a wider and a better perspective on life and what to do and stuff like that. That will probably reset your mind, or I think there's a way out. And I think there's a way out. I think you can find it. I think it can be found. So I think you should keep looking.
Yeah,
Basically.
that's
That's
what it is.
I think because of our time, that was a good way to actually end. Because we went from death to suicide. That one's a deep one. But anyway, yeah, it's probably dark. Some of us look like dark faces. This is my dark skin and the light
I
skin.
can only see your teeth.
But yeah, guys, let us know what you think. Yeah, death is a deep one for me, man.
I think suicide is
Get a
deeper.
better budget.
Suicide is deeper. But yeah,
Yeah, it is. And also just it's not like we're dismissing women's cases and stuff. We just don't know what women go through.
we're gonna have an episode where we actually bring a woman or someone.
Yeah,
to-
chilling with the girlies.
Yeah. Okay. That was sus. hey. Peace, yo.
Another time.